Welcome to Business Over a Brew, the show where we talk business with some of the Riverbend's most interesting and influential business leaders, all while enjoying a nice brew from the Great Rivers Tap and Grill inside the Best Western Premier Hotel in Alton. Today we'll talk to Gregg Pasdiora. Along with his wife Kathy, Gregg owns 3 bowling centers, including Airport Plaza Bowl in Bethalto and Bullhaven Lanes in Alton. He'll tell us how a career in sales and marketing led him to a career in bowling center ownership and why bowling centers are so important to the community. So let's get to it. It's the Business Over a Brew podcast from the Great Rivers Tap and Grill inside the Best Western Premier Hotel in Alton. Welcome to Business Over a Brew. Pleased to be joined by Gregg Pasdiora.
Cheers.
Did I say that right, Gregg?
You did. Cheers. Right. Glad to be here.
Our first guest that's drinking a Bloody Mary, so that's different.
Yes. Well, we'll spice of life, you know.
Right. So,
go.
Gregg, you own 3 bowling alleys, including 2 here in the area, Airport Plaza Bowl and Bullhaven Lanes. Tell us how you got started in the business.
Wow. How much time do you have? Well, actually,
it's the internet. It's unlimited.
Okay. Well, here we go. And I was born in Chicago. I was 9 pounds 9. Oh, not that far back.
Right.
Okay. I actually started in 1980. I have an accounting background, a business background, journalism degree in business, and as a young man, I wanted to do all kinds of things. Anyway, I have the gift of gab. I just had it, and I decided, I got an opportunity to interview with Brunswick, which is the leader in bowling as far as I'm concerned. Not because I worked for them, it's because I look at them as a leader in the bowling industry. So I got an opportunity to interview for them, and it took me 1 year to get in there. I got in as a trainee out of Atlanta, Georgia. And the job was to call on bowling centers in a given territory and sell them anything from a bowling pin here, Pin Dexter here, or all the way up to automatic scoring, bowling lanes and such. And I got lucky. The territory guy who was there quit. I became a territory manager, which was Georgia, Alabama, Northern Florida. And I was really hooked. I mean, I called on a lot of bowling centers. And over the time, I did very well. And I did well because I like to sell, I like people, and I like to see people succeed. And I've always had that, even as a kid, I've always wanted to see people succeed. So I wound up not only selling in the territory, but talking to employees. I listened to how they talk to their customers, and I gave them a few suggestions here or there. And along the way, I kind of got bumped up the ladder with Brunswick. I moved to Chicago. I'm from Chicago, and then I was hired away from a little company out of Des Moines, Iowa, and it was smaller than Brunswick, and it was specialized in chemicals and things like that. And through that company in 1987, we discovered a product that made bowling lanes glow in the dark. And we worked through distribution. We didn't sell direct to bowling centers. We worked through outlets. And in 1992, Brunswick acquired this company, Perry Austin. I went back to Brunswick. And when they acquired Perry Austin, they did not know that glow in the dark product existed. Well, when we introduced it to the management, the president and such, it exploded, and they spent a lot of money on R&Ding it. Myself and another guy out of Iowa, we were very fortunate. We got to work very closely with the product as well as in sales, and eventually it was introduced. And there's lots of stories about glow in the dark, and it saved bowling. And there were 4 guys that started it, and I was fortunate to be one of those 4 out of Des Moines, Iowa. And as I progressed with Brunswick and eventually wound up as vice president and director of sales of North America, I traveled Asia, I traveled Europe, I've been literally in thousands of bowling centers. You're talking to a guy that's been all over the place. And I really liked bowling centers. I liked the business. I like what bowling centers do for their communities. In fact, we made a video not too long ago called Why a Town Needs Its Bowling Center. It's kind of role reversal. Like we need the town, Alton or Bethalto, where our centers are in the surrounding communities, because we're in business. But on the same token, these towns really do need these bowling centers. They don't really think about it all the time, but they do. And video is excellent and really pinpoints the need. Through all of this, one of my customers was out of St. Louis, and he had a daughter named Kathy. And Kathy and I were friends for a long, long time. And I worked closely with him with Cellucoat Bowling Supply. And I worked with her salesman. I worked with the owner, her dad, and I knew Kathy. Kathy and I had a lot in common. One thing we had in common, we were both married. So we were friends, and she had a little boy. I had 2 little girls, and time passed, and so forth and so on. And one day, we kind of communicated, and I was almost divorced, and she was almost divorced, and we started to date. And one thing led to another. Meanwhile, I'm still selling bowling centers, equipment, and such. I left that in 2013. Kathy and I decided we were going to move in together, and she had 3 bowling centers. She had Bowlhaven, Airport Plaza Bowl, and New Bowl out of Mount Vernon. And so I was more or less kind of a sounding board for her. I did some marketing for her. I wrote things for the business, the marketing tools. And in 2014, she asked me to join her in partnership and to work closely with the managers. So I don't really get involved the day-to-day operation of a bowling center. I mean, I watch these guys, and my job is not to manage. My job is not to, make decisions based on payroll or personnel or things like that. My interest is to make sure that the bowling centers are as successful as possible, to make sure the town and the community, know we're there. And you'd be surprised at how many people say, geez, I forgot that bowling center was there, And so Kathy and I started working closely together. Bill Netzhammer is the manager at Bowlhaven. Many, many people know Bill. He's been around a long, long time. Man, is he old. And when he sees this, hi, Bill. But, yeah, I mean, Bill has forgot about a lot of running a bowling center than I will ever know. But what I do know is I know marketing, and I know people, and I know how people want to be treated when they come in. And Eric Kern is our manager at Airport Plaza Bowl, and Eric does a great job. He was the mechanic there, and he kind of moved. He showed a lot of interest in management, and we kind of brought him around and brought him over. And through time, Eric has become a really good, solid manager and understands what managers need to do to manage a business and to run a staff and things like that. And that's my job. Kathy she's human resources. She's payable and receivables. We always talk to the managers about when we make decisions. It's a team effort, a total team effort. And but that in a nutshell how I can't believe I got it through that fast.
Yeah.
What a career.
So you spent most of your career in the industry. What's one thing that was a surprise to you when it came to ownership?
Probably, what I learned from Brunswick and having a sales staff is everybody's different, and everybody is unique, and everybody has a hot button, and it takes different things to motivate different people. To me, the common denominator of motivation has always been money, but the people have a sense of wanting to do good and right for their customer, and our staff at the bowling centers is no exception. What surprised me was the different things customers, what they consider important. And we did a survey not too long ago, last year I think it was. What's the most important thing to you? Now we polled our league customers. We try to take care of our league customers. They are our steadiest customer. They're every week. Some bowl in the summertime. Our seniors are very important to us. Kids are very important to us. And we asked them, and the number one most important thing, this really was a surprise, but if you think about it, it was clean restrooms. That was like, what? So in all 3 bowling centers, we have very nice restrooms, and that's important. But what we try to do, I believe this is very important, and the managers feel this is very important. And of course, Kathy does too. Is if you come in with your family and you have, say, $100 and you're going to spend, you have choices. You could spend that money anywhere. You don't even have to spend it on your family. You could go golfing, or you could put them in the gaming machine, or go out and buy a new belt. So when people come into our place of business, we try to treat them with the highest service and the best courtesy we can, and that's really important. And I want the customer to feel that if they have $100 and they're spending that money, they feel they got $200 worth of value. That is paramount and important in today's business more than ever, I think. I mean, people come in and these kids, they sit there, especially kids, but hey, adults, we do it. You got the small phone, you're on the phone, you're looking up whatever. And bowling is one of those things where you can get away from all that. Put the phone down. Communicate with your friends and your family. It can be fun. It can be competitive. Whatever you want it to be, and it's good for you. It's good exercise for you. But that was a surprise. To answer your question, the restrooms, good service. But sometimes people say, well, your food, you got great pizza. Well, you've been here, you've just bowled for 2 hours. You've had a couple pitchers of beer, you've had a pizza, and the one thing that stands out is the pizza. So everybody's different. So you try to hit the hot spots as much as you can.
And I know families are important, getting families involved, and kids in particular. Talk about the Kids Bowl Free program.
Kids Bowl Free. Boom. All right. Well, Bowlhaven and Airport and New Bowl all have had a Kids Bowl Free program for a long time, and before this program, it was more of a individual, like, okay, we have these kids, they bowl in youth bowling. The Alton High School is a good example. The schools around, we're going to give every kid 2 free games all summer long, and we'd take it to the school, and we would have a few hundred kids at each location. This program, Kids Bowl Free, is
you are in marketing.
Yeah. Here, can you see him? This is important. But getting back to him, this is a national program, and I'm lucky enough because in my former life I knew a lot of people, and I know the guys who authored this program, and they were calling me at home saying, "Why are you?" Because they had heard that Kathy and I are together, and we have the bowling centers are here, and why aren't you on Kids Bowl Free? And I talked to the managers, and like I said, my job is not to. If they know what's going on, they are there in the trenches. They are there every day. We are not. We have vested interest in other things and the bowls. So every day is different for us.
Right.
So why aren't we doing this? I don't know. Why aren't we doing this? And so I asked them, the owners of Kids Bowl Free program, to give me a trial balloon. Give us a trial balloon. And we tried it, whereas we got a discount on the program. And lo and behold, the first year, Bowlhaven had, somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 kids. Airport had around 1,500, and New Bowl had about 1,200, up from a couple hundred.
Right.
Now, this will be our 4th summer. Last year, between the 3 centers, we had close to 8,000 kids, 8,000 children that could come between the end of school to Labor Day, and they could come in as long as we're open and lanes are available. They could bowl 2 free games every single day. Then we have a Kids Bowl Free program came out with Family Plan right there, and basically what that is that the family can buy a package so that Mom, Dad, and the kids can go bowling. Mom and Dad can bowl for a dramatically discounted rate, and the child's bowling for 2 games for free, and it's a win-win situation. Then and we try to get the kids to help us recruit, because what happens is when they register and buy a family package, their school goes into a big hat nationwide. There are well over 1 million children across the country bowling 2 games of free every day, all summer long. And 50 schools receive a $1,000 scholarship from the Kids Bowl Free program.
Wow.
And 2 years ago, we had one from Bowl Haven and New Bowl that each got a $1,000 scholarship. St. Mary's, which is a Catholic school around here.
Great.
Got it. Yeah.
What a great program. And
Yeah.
as we wrap up here, you brought a guest with you.
Pendexter, there he is. Pendexter, I've got a lot of background and with marketing and product identification. I mean, you're going down the street, you see the Golden Arches, you know what it is. Even Burger King, here Best Western. I mean, you see that sign, you know that you're going to have a certain quality when you come in, certain service. Your expectations are as such. I wanted to have something for everybody to identify and with our bowling centers. There's a lot of synergy between the three. Airport, Plaza Bowl, and Bowl Haven are 10 miles apart. They are owned by the same people, but they are run independently as far as what they decide to do. Pendexter is the common denominator. Pendexter should appear on any piece of propaganda we put out. And you'll notice he's on the big one here because this one here, actually Bill Netzhammer helped design this. But the one thing that we always insist on when we do things is that little guy right there, Pendexter. And so people see him and they identify with the bowling centers. It's pretty easy. He's a bowling pin. He's got a goofy smile on his face. We actually made a video of him where people came in and bowled with him and had pizza with him. Seriously. And it is the second most popular video. Most of our videos on YouTube, on Facebook, will receive 7,000 to 10,000 views. That one had about 18,000 views. The one that we did Why a Town Needs Its Bowling Center had almost 25,000 views. So very popular. So he's on our truck. He's on all the propaganda. He's everywhere.
Well, Greg, thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Hey, this went fast.
It did. And continued success for you and
Well,
Kathy
thanks
at
for
the
having
bowling
me.
center.
Yeah, I mean, come on out and bowl. And if you have children out there, make sure you go to kidsbowlfree.com or go to airportplazabowl.com, bowlhavenlanes.com. And register. It's free, and the kids can bowl. And we do programs all throughout the summer, and we have prizes, and I could go on and on.
Sure.
And on.
But go to the website and you can find
But go
out.
to the website. That's right. Go bowling.
Thanks, Greg.
Hey,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching the Business Over a Brew podcast. For more video of me drinking free beer with some of the Riverbend's most interesting and influential business leaders, visit AltonDailyNews.com and click on the podcast page. To enjoy a great meal with great food, great service, and great atmosphere, visit Great Rivers Tap and Grill inside the Best Western Premier in Alton. Check out some of their new menu items at GreatRiversTapandGrill.com.